Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Such a pleasure to have you on here. If it's your goal to become a profitable trader, this is the place to be. Today's video, I will be showing you support and resistance, how to use it profitably to ensure that you can make money from trading, when to enter into the market, when to exit from the market. Essentially, that's what this video is going to be about. There are mistakes that people often make when considering support and resistance, and you might have been making those mistakes as well. So in this video, I want to point you into the right things that will help you spot them like a pro. Today's video is as practical as you can get. I'll be showing you how to use support and resistance on a live chart, how to spot them, when to use them, and what candlestick prices you would see that will make your support and resistance level very valid for you to take entries or exits into a trade. So without much ado, let's jump straight into it. With support and resistance, you are actually able to predict where price is and where price should be going to. How important is this principle? Firstly, 85% of experienced traders, they trade based off the principle of support and resistance. So if you are trying to be part of the profitable traders who are doing this sustainably, you want to think about this principle and then not just think about it, understand it. Secondly, 90% of instruments, every other instrument you want to think of or look at in the industry are built off this principle. So why not focus on understanding the basics, focus on understanding this very solid principle, and then instead of beating around with something else that might be relevant to your journey. Lastly, 100%, 100% of all the significant moves in the market, they begin and end at these levels. All right. So if it is this important, then why wouldn't you want to learn it? Firstly, I'm going to pick up on support, and then you would be able to see where do we categorize on the chart as support. I'm still going to show it on the live chart, which I'm going to show in a minute. But firstly, let me lay this foundation. Okay, where do we find support on the chart? How important is it? What do we do when we find support levels? I want you to understand that if you have a mind of like the floor, all right, on maybe wherever you're seated now, wherever you are right now, the floor, the base, okay, of wherever you are now is regarded as the support level. And then the top of the ceiling might be regarded as the resistance level. But what kind of trades do you look out for at the support point? It is a buy opportunities, okay? At the support lines, your focus is on buying opportunities. And why do you focus on buying opportunities? Is because that's the area where a downtrend may pause or show exhaustion, and then it means there is weakness in the sell pressure. Definitely means there's a new opportunity for you to buy, or there's an opportunity for buyers to go into the market and make a difference. As you could see on this description, price came down, hit these levels, and then moved on up. All right, these are lines. I would soon show you how to look at them on candles. But don't forget, the support level is the area where sellers have pushed the market for so long, and then there's a pressure from the buyers. At this point, they are able to contain it and buy up the market. So in support levels, don't forget again, you are looking out for buy opportunities, and then support could be regarded as the floor for price. And then this is what it looks like in another example. All right, you can see how price gets to this point and then bounces back up. These are lines, don't forget, but I would show you what candles would look like in a minute. Now to resistance point. Firstly, bear in mind that it looks like the exact opposite of your support levels, all right? So when you have a resistance point, it's categorized by the place where an uptrend is getting weak, and then sellers or selling activity is taking charge. So you could have an exhaustion of buying pressure, and then sellers are trying to take the market down in another direction. So again, see it as the ceiling for price. That's the point where price gets to, and then it begins to go down. So what kind of trade do you take at resistance level? You're looking out for majorly selling opportunity. Take a deep breath, try to think this through and understand it. If you have to rewatch this video, make sure you do that. If you have to watch it slowly again, make sure you also do that. Before I go on to the chart, I'll show you this is what the resistance level would look like typically. All right, price pushes all the way up, but then the buying pressure gets exhausted at this point, so the sellers are able to push the price back down. Again, similar scenario, sellers did what? Push the price back down. Similar scenario. What you should understand is when you get to the resistance level, what kind of trade are you looking out for? Now, these levels are formed on different time frames, and I'll show you in a minute when we jump on the chart, but keep this in mind, all right? You would find them on any time frame you're looking at. And then on what time frame is it important to take these trades? When you see a support level, on what time frame would you want to shoot for a buy? Okay, on what time frame are you going to see a resistance or a support level and then shoot for either a buy or a sell? That should be what you should be looking out for on the chart that I'll show you in a minute. Now, another thing that you need to keep in mind is that support and resistance level, in reality on the charts, they are ever continuing. So one support level gets exhausted, it becomes a resistance point. Another resistance point gets exhausted or broken through, it can become a support level. Not to bore you with all that gimmicks or the complexity of that, but quickly I'll show you on the chart such that you can always understand what to experience. So another thing I want you to see is that most of the times on the chart, it's going to be diagonal in nature. That is, it's always trending, because don't forget, price is always in the trend. And in another video where I'll talk about market structure, I'll explain how you could view this diagonally. But don't just keep this in mind. At the base of every movement, you would find the support area. At the top of every movement, you would find the resistance area. Now I'll go over to the charts and I could show you more in details before I come back to show you the take-home points. Let's get straight to it. I'll show in 3 ways how you could find support on the chart and how you could find resistance on a chart and what kind of trade decisions you would make in that situation. Okay. This is one of my favorite pairs to trade, GBP JPY. And you could see here, I'm just going to play the candle a bit faster now. All right, so this is where it gets interesting. We saw that price obviously was trying to go up, but it got to an exhaustion point, and then we had a rejection of this nature and of this nature. All right, in the other video where I'll explain price action, you would be able to understand why these kind of candlesticks are very important patterns in the course of trading. Okay, so obviously from this price action now, we see what price continues to do, continues to push all the way down. And good enough, yeah, price has pushed to the base now. Now, before we go, this is where price has pushed up to, and then price got to this point, started making its way back up. Don't forget, I said at your support level, that's where the sellers are exhausted, basically. All right, we see the sell force has pushed the price all the way down, but something has happened here. Price couldn't continue to push further down, and then it went back up. Now we've identified a support area. Why do we say it's a support area? Basically because that's the level where price gets to on its way down, and then it becomes the floor for price. Price can no longer push in that direction, and then what happens? price begins to go back up. I like to mark that with my horizontal line. Forget about how long it is, really. It's just very helpful. You might mark it shorter, you might mark it really longer. You might not want to mark it at all. It's fine. The most important thing is your ability to spot such areas. So I'll continue now. Now, my focus would be on how price reacts every time it comes back to this area. Okay. Sometimes it comes to the line exactly. Sometimes it doesn't come to that line exactly. But we have an overview already of an area to look out for. And this is one of such. All right. Look at this area. Look at what happened again when price came back to that area. Price started going all the way back up. And in the same vein, if you're looking at this already, you can already begin to see how the resistance line is also forming. All right. You see again, price came back to this area. And what happened? And this is the kind of entry I try to look out for when I take trades. Okay. You have the sell candle coming all the way back in. And then the sell candle tried to form. But what happened again? After the rejection of these candles, both candles got rejected, and basically what happened to price pushed all the way back up. Okay, this is one example, and you could see how price is coming back repeatedly to that area and respecting it all the way. Again, price pushed all the way down, price got back to this area. What happened? And carefully, if you can see again at the top, very similar price action is happening. Okay, price gets to that top, look at the kind of candles being formed, and then it's being rejected. This is a very typical textbook scenario when it comes to support and resistance. Okay, eventually price is definitely not going to be there forever, but the more price comes back to retest an area, that's a significant area of importance for you. These are good opportunities for you to take buy entries. The tops are easy or good opportunities for you to take sell entries. It doesn't matter what financial instrument it is you're trading. The principle of support and resistance is very real, and you can always use it. There would always be scenarios where price breaks above that level, all right? And scenarios, again, where price is no longer touching the areas it used to touch in the past. So this is where you need to also be able to switch your mind as a trader and understand that support and resistance, it won't always be static. It's a moving price action pattern, all right? But you need to be able to spot the important ones that can help you to take trade decisions, all right? That will be one. I'll move on to the next scenario. In this scenario, I'm going to show you how support and resistance could happen over a diagonal line, all right? Instead of it being just within a straight line, but rather it could be progressive, what we refer to as higher highs and higher lows. But yeah, I don't want to bore you with the technicalities, but I'll just quickly show you on the chart. Now, this is a chart scenario, and then we see how price is trending. Great. In this scenario, price is consistently going over and creating new high points, all right? So this is the floor for price at this point, and this would have been the ceiling. But eventually what happened? Price pushed above and broke over that area. And now what kind of entries do you want to look out for in this scenario? Because obviously price is trending to the upside. Then you want to know, how should I come in? How should I step in? The same way I'm going to mark out the area with my straight lines or horizontal lines, depends whatever you want to call it. If I mark this area out, and then I could mark the top side as well, which is this area. Now see how price has reacted to that level, and now it will be important going forward. Okay. Now, when we marked this area, I like to mark above the body of the candle. Okay, and then price pushed back down. Obviously, price didn't come back to this support line anymore. As a trader, you want to be very, very proactive. What are the basic things that would let you know that, okay, a support area has actually been formed? Would you find them here? You find the rejection of the candles, you find the rejection of the candles, and you find strong bullish momentum to the top. And then when price came back, tried to retest this area, eventually price couldn't break beneath. You want to mark this area as your newly found support area, basically. And then this would have been an opportunity to take a buy. In this case, this hasn't happened. Let's assume this end of the chart hasn't happened. So where then do I take my profit for this particular trade? You have to look further to the left and see what happened when price got to that area in the past. And ideally, you want to mark this area out. I'm marking this area. I'm not even concentrating on this, but you could see how it paved out, how it came out to just be it exactly. All right, this is where I'm marking really. I'm marking out how price has reacted to this area, but you could see how it turned out. It became the new point. Okay, so initially, when you take a trade, possibly at the close of this candle, you have taken a buy trade. Then where do you want to look out for your take profit? It's definitely going to be the next support area. The next resistant area, which is this point. Okay, you just want to you take a buy entry. Say, for example, you took the buy from 190.8.655. Your take profit will be around the 191.474 area. And then where would your stop loss have been to protect the trade? That would be beneath this area. All right. You would have put your stop loss ideally beneath this point. And then just in case, why? Not every time would support and resistance hold. It doesn't mean it's not valid, but based on the principle that trading is probabilistic in nature, and at every time you're taking a trade, you want to always protect your capital. That's why you would have set a stop loss beneath this point. I'm going to explain in another video, not in this one, just to ensure that things are not quite complicated. And also, if you want to see how I use this principle to take trade from time to time, you could join my community, and link to do that is right in the description of this video. And then let's play more scenarios and see how price reacted and moved on from this point, okay? All right, so price has come back. Now it's broken above that resistance point. But look at what price did here. Very important. When price came back to this area, don't forget, price is always moving constantly. And you as a day trader, or you are basically trying to leverage on this movement. You just want to stay between ends of movement and then take a trade or to be profitable, really. Look at when price was selling. Price was selling. The sell trades on here are opportunities at the red candles, and price sold all the way down. But what's happened here? This is the candles that I look out for when I'm trying to find if support has been formed or not. All right, look at the sell candle. Sell candle red, sell candle red, sell candle red, sell candle red. But look at this blue candle here. All right, look at the wick on both candles. This clearly shows that what a support has been formed. Price tried to push down, but price was pushed back up, and then we had this blue candle. All right, now it becomes a good opportunity to take a trade and wait. All right, and then if, for example, you are taking the trade of this new support level that has been created right here, and then where would your take profit be? Ideally, you want to come back to this resistance point. Don't forget, that's why I've tried to explain that support, resistance. I'm going to show, yeah, there's going to be need to like take time to internalize this so that you can actually understand the concept. All right, so this is what you could see here. Now, this resistance area, now becomes the new level where price would stop. You could see where I marked this resistance from. You could want to put that at the tip to be on the safe side as well. You could put that in the middle, all right, of candles. That's still fine. And if you are taking a trade here, put your stop loss beneath this level, and then your take profit obviously would be around the next resistance point. How many times would you look at the chart, sit back and see this play over and over and over? And you see where what happened here. Again, the kind of candles I look out for And this would give you an understanding to see that price is still continuing to push back. All right. After price broke above that area, price came back to retest. And you could see the sellers tried to push it down here. Buyers came back. This candle is an indication to tell you that what? There is a rejection. A new support area has been formed. Always look out for that. At every support level that you're looking out for, look out for what? First, the sell candles coming down there, and then the strong bullish candle coming back to say buyers are in charge. Now, it doesn't matter. Price will still push, do whatever it has to do. And then you could still see eventually what happened to price. Price moved all the way back up. When you take a trade from here, for example, assuming this hasn't happened yet, where would you find your take profit level? You have to go further down to the left and see the areas where price has been before. If I, for example, mark this area down and then I place this horizontal line over here, let's go see how price would have reacted to that area. Look at it in the future. All right, see how price reacted to this area. It looks typically like magic, really, but it is not. It's about taking you out your time, looking at the market over and over. It actually comes with experience. It comes with guidance. If you have people who trade this strategy, look at their charts from time to time. You learn, and then you'll be able to spot this over and over. All right. So this is one clear scenario, for example, where support level became resistance, resistance became support. But I wouldn't want to complicate that right now. I'll teach that in another video. Let's go over to show some resistance scenarios. Okay. And I'll still be using the same pair. It doesn't matter any pair you'd like to use. These principles are always the same. So long you can find candlesticks on the chart, you would always find support and resistance over there. Now to the resistance point. Keeping in mind that your resistance is basically the opposite of your support. It's just a mirror way around, okay? Now, price has pushed to the upside like we could see here. And then price came all the way to this point, but the buyers couldn't push the market up anymore. And then price kept falling from there forward, all right? Technically, we could see that that is a resistance point where price fell, and you could see the bearish candle that showed that the buyers are no longer in charge right on there. Okay, moving this forward, let's just see how things play out going forward. And now we see price break above that area, which is fine. Nothing is static as it were when it comes to the chart. But again, what's important is how price broke back into the area. You don't want to confuse yourself when you start seeing situations like this. I wouldn't, in this case, hold on to this hold level and then remain there. Rather, what do? You move based on where the market has moved to. Now, this is your new resistance area. And where would be the current support? It will be this area now. Just keeping it in the range of where price has moved, basically. And then we see how price react. Now, if I'm looking for an opportunity to trade, I've seen one right here. At the point where this candlestick played out this way, bear with me. At the point where this played out this way, where I had this rejection candle, this is where I want to focus on as an opportunity to look for myself. All right. If one takes a sell from that point, and then where would be your take profit? You could want it to ride all the way down to this very support area. Yeah, that's one scenario, one possible scenario. It might take longer to happen. But again, you could see that minor structure or a minor support level has been created, and that's still a good place to take your profit. Because when you are taking a trade, basically, even though you understand you're trading from one support level to the next resistance level, you don't want to be stuck in that. When price action happens and then it's already looking different from what you are anticipating, you must know how to make a decision or manage your trade. Now, I'll kick this back on just so you could see there would always be more and more opportunities. Don't worry, when you start trying to use this principle, you won't catch all the opportunities there is to catch, because as where you're just learning, you're trying to figure it out, you're trying to understand where to always or look at the level from. All right. So you might miss out on some trades, and that's fine. You need that opportunity to be able to learn, and it's very, very important. So look at this other scenario when price pushed back all the way down, a support area was created, and then price came back to retest this. Now, this is a good area to look out for again for price. If I were to be looking for an opportunity to trade, I've seen my support level. Once you know your support, you should know where your take profit will be. It's going to, once you know your resistance, you know your take profit is going to be at the next support area, and vice versa. Once you're buying from a support, you're trying to sell to a resistance. Once you're buying from a support area, you're trying to buy up to a resistance level. That's where you take profits. And then once you're selling from a resistance point, you are trying to sell down to the next support area, which will be your opportunity to take profit. And in this case as well, you've seen clearly, this is one good scenario where you have your support and resistance being broken, and then you have your support level now becoming the new resistance area and things like this. In the video where I would talk in particular about price action and then market structure, I would be able to go into more details on how you as a person can masterfully use the information you have with support and resistance, with market structure, and then candlesticks to be able to make trade decisions. Trust me, I haven't looked at anything else in the last 2-3 years, and this is what I've stuck with to become a profitable trader. Where you need the kick is when you know how to execute a trade. That will be the most significant part that will make a key difference. You need to know when to execute, what point you're going to take your profit, and when to leave a trade. You also need to know when you don't need to take a trade necessarily. And that will lead me to the concluding part of this video. So in summary, this is the taking point. This is the summary of everything. Keep this at the back of your mind every time you try to trade this principle. If you can't find your support and your resistance, then don't trade. Don't forget, I told you your support is where you know where to buy from. Your resistance is where you know where you're selling to. It's like someone who takes a journey and is saying, I don't even know where I'm going. Then you're not on a journey, really. You're probably just strolling around or philandering, basically. So if you don't know where your support is on the chart, you don't know where your resistance point is, you don't take a trade, okay? Secondly, focus on buys when you are at support areas, then focus on sell opportunities when you are at resistance level. This will save you a whole lot of times where you lose your money due to not knowing what to do, all right? And lastly, use your support and resistance in confluence with price action, okay? Price action, this is basically the knowledge of your candlesticks movement, where they open, where they close, and I'll be dropping the next video that would show you price action in details. If you love this video, you've stayed true to this very point, you are a superstar. Like this video, share it with your friends, and I'll see you on the next one. Yeah, I'm sure you found great value from watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button, smash the subscribe button if you're yet to do so, and don't forget to share them with your friends who you also want to become profitable in trading. My name again is Toby Kalejai, and I'm your partner on your journey to becoming profitable from trading. If you're looking for a way to be a part of my community, do look in the description box there. I've put a way on how we can get to link up, communicate, and take your game to the next level, all right? So, see you on the next one. Keep being amazing.